Um, hey guys, this is Paul Soche here with FBA Insiders. We got Jimmy Smith with us today.
Hey.
Jimmy's been a part of FBA Insiders for quite some time. He used to be a deal poster in our leads group, and he has gone on to some awesome stuff. One of them is creating an amazing replen tool. So we're going to be jumping in and talking about that today. So really quick background about replen tools. If you've ever tried them before, the tools that are out there that I've tried, they tend to get really complicated. And if you have an arbitrage model, it's a ton of time to manage. And Jimmy and his partner, they developed this tool that is like, it's for arbitragers. So this is a retail and online arbitrage group. So this is perfect for this. So Jimmy, tell us a little bit about kind of what you've been up to, what led you to build the tool.
Yeah.
And because this is kind of like buy sellers for sellers type of tool.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And you described it perfectly. I mean, there's a lot of restocking software out there, and none of it is tailored towards arbitrage sellers. And so that's what led us to wanting to do this. So we do strictly replenishable products. We don't necessarily do clearance finds anymore or any of those kinds of things. And so we're constantly trying to figure out when we need to repurchase our products, how many do we need to repurchase, and how do we better systematize and manage that process. And so for the longest time, we used Google Sheets and downloading reports, uploading reports, and like this whole deal. But we found out over time that, first off, it takes a while to manage that. And also, Amazon changes the reports. So you've got to change the sheet a lot of times. It just becomes a bigger headache, especially if you're trying to get yourself removed from that process, because employees don't know how it's all set up. And so myself and Carl Jacoby, who is another big seller on Amazon, he does a lot of replenishable products as well. We both had a sheet that we were working on, decided to combine them and then create the software from that. And it's kind of taken a life of its own. It's been pretty exciting to see kind of the growth and how much interest we've had. But yeah, so that's why we decided to make it, because whenever I've used other platforms that are restocking softwares, they typically have their own algorithms, and they'll give you, oh, you need to buy 200 of these because you want a 2-month lead time based off of how much you sold. But that's not always accurate for arbitrage, because other sellers can jump on, right?
Yeah, that's a huge piece of it. And even in wholesale, I mean, anytime you're sharing the buy box with more than one person, your levels are just going to change,
Exactly.
So, and one thing that I love about it is that y'all didn't go for this like ridiculously robust. I mean, when I say robust, I mean complicated, like over the top, forever to load, hard to search reports, like simplest, straightforward tool that I've seen in a long time.
Awesome.
And so I've been, guys, just to let y'all know, I've been beta testing it for about a month now, 2 months or so. And it has really kind of like revolutionized the way that I do my replens, because it's so quick. I'm really heavy into wholesale, and for whether it's wholesale or arbitrage, it's just you go in, you get your report, you do your thing, and you're done. Whereas with the other tools, it was like, dude, this is going to take like 2 weeks to learn. Then I'm going to have to hire a VA just to manage the tool. And so with this, it's super simple.
Awesome.
So we're going to do a live demo. Jimmy, you want to go ahead and you can share your screen?
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see right there. Okay. So yeah, let's see if it pulls up. Let me know when you see it.
I see that you started screen sharing, but I'm not seeing. There it is.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, this is the website. It's replendashboard.com. And as you can see, we did design this for Amazon arbitrage sellers. And as Paul mentioned, like I do wholesale as well. Not a ton, but I do some. It actually really helps for our wholesale products too. If you're strictly private label, it's going to be probably not what you need. But I think if you're doing arbitrage and wholesale, it's probably the best option for a simple solution to know when you need to restock. And so you can see the page from here. I'll just go ahead and show the tool because you can read everything on the page yourself, but it's replendashboard.com. So in the tool, this is a test account that we have. You can see whenever you log in, there is a dashboard, and we're going to start making this actually a little bit more robust, but we wanted something that showed you a quick snapshot of sales today, profit, ROI, margin, etc. You'll see the ROI right now is at 0%. It's because we haven't uploaded costs to this account. But
which is super easy to do.
Yeah,
by the way. It's not, again, not complicated. You just export out of Inventory Lab or ScanPower, wherever your stuff is.
Yep.
And load.
I was, whenever we talk to the developers about having an import thing for our costs and suppliers, I'm used to them taking a while or being a little bit more confusing. It was actually more streamlined than I had expected it to be, so I was pretty happy with that.
And for the listener, as you're looking at this, notice how fast it loads. Like that is another thing too. I mean, some of these tools, again, there's a lot of data that they're crunching, and there's still all the data that's necessary for what you need to do to do your replens and to manage stuff is there. But the speed of the load is another really awesome thing that I really like about it, because I'm not sitting there waiting for the spinning wheel of death to finish.
Right, exactly. No, and we've got this going as fast as it can, talking to Amazon. So it does connect to your Amazon account, obviously. And typically the fastest that you can get is every 15 minutes, it'll update. And so if you do a shipment and you click mark as shipped, about 15 to 20 minutes later, that information will also be in here. So it's as fast as we can get it to go to update between the two. But yeah, so this is kind of the layout of it. And I'll first address the red lines, because a lot of people have questions about that. So the red lines, whenever you see it's red, that actually means that you've got a seller that is cheaper than your current price. And so we did that so it would be a good notification. Since we have so many products, it's hard to know if something's still profitable or if I need to recheck it. And so if somebody's lower than us, we know that we need to do a little bit more homework before repurchasing that product. And so we like to have that be obvious and not overbearing either. So yeah, you can see the title of all the products here on the left. You can actually click in here and expand it if you want it to be the full title or not. And then also the pictures. The ASIN itself, if you're to click that, it actually brings you to the Amazon link, or it is an Amazon link to bring you to the product page. And so I'd click it, but my internet's a little bit slower and I don't want to slow down the Zoom call. Once you click that though, it'll open up pretty quickly, on your own. We do have a bunch of information in this dashboard, and you can actually remove some of them, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit after I go through it. So we've got our seller SKU. You can actually run the reports. Whenever you do your import, it's going to be all based off of your SKU, because you might have two different SKUs if it's a merchant fulfilled version of the listing and an FBA version of the listing. So we had to do it based off SKU, not off ASIN. It shows you if you're fulfilled by Amazon or fulfilled by merchant. You got your condition and your status. So you can actually you can see what's active versus inactive in your account. Additionally, you can see what is inbound. So whenever I was talking earlier about after you do your shipment and you click mark as shipped, as soon as that information transfers to this software, it'll show you that, hey, I've got 20 of these inbound. And so that helps you also with your purchasing decisions if you've got somebody else doing this for you. And then, yeah, you can see all of this information: reserved, sellable, unsellable, and then it totals all of this inventory. So that way you know how much total you do have in stock. And then your buy quantity, that's how much the software is suggesting you buy. And that's based off of your sales over the last 30 days minus whatever you have in total. So it's very basic. We don't have an algorithm formula because they're typically inaccurate. And you can actually sort this by how many you need to purchase. And so if I do that, you can see, again, this is a test account, so we don't have much going on in here. But you can see if you need to purchase 2 because you've had 2 orders, and then that's how many you need to get to repurchase based off of your sales.
And Jimmy, really quick, let me jump in. One of the things that I did to check the recommended buy numbers is I went ahead into Amazon. I went to Jungle Scout, looked at the sales velocity, looked at the number of sellers, divided it out, and it was like within 1 unit.
Awesome.
And we're talking like, it was saying to buy like 60 units or something like that. I was like, dang, that's like, I can really trust. It was just this like confidence builder of like, I can really trust this thing. And, like seasonal items that are spiking in velocity, you have to use some intuition there. But like these plain Jane everyday items that just stay really consistent in velocity, as long as the number of sellers stay around the same, things can, it's pretty consistent where you don't have to check. And two, I wanted to mention on the, guys, if y'all have ever tried to manually figure out, like if you're going back and forth from like Inventory Lab to maybe a repricer to Seller Central, and you're trying to match things up to see how much inventory you have, it takes a hot minute to figure out your total inventory. So to have this just like boop, right there for you, recommended buy, because you never want to go and buy a bunch of inventory when you have stuff in reserved and you forgot to check your reserve.
Right.
That's a bummer.
Right, exactly.
Double up on that. So that they've really, really thought through, hey, what pieces of data do we need to make that?
Yeah, and that's an important piece. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that. And thanks too for checking to make sure that it was accurate based off of your other metrics too, because each seller does purchase differently. And so I'm glad that it at least aligned with what you do. And sorry if you can hear my dog barking. I don't know if you can, but
no. I'm hearing kids screaming on my end. So
what'd you say?
I'm hearing kids screaming outside my door line. So.
Okay, well, good. We'll be good. The sounds will hopefully not.
Can't get weather out.
Yeah, exactly. But so we've got in here too, you can see the total sale amount. So if you sold 2 units, it's just going to do your units times your selling price and show the sales amount. So some of this information we actually went overboard on because we can remove it at the end of this. So if you don't care about some of this, or having the whole individual quantities put out here, you can just have the total. We can actually remove that later. You can also see your price. So the price $21.60, it'll show a buy box of $23.59. That's because it's currently out of stock, or we are. So that's why it would be at that price. Or in this case, if the seller is cheaper than us, it's going to highlight it red. Our price is $19.12 and the buy box is at $18.43. And so that's something that, you want to make sure to check, because if it's that far apart, maybe you repurchase it because it's still profitable. But if it's something from $22.44 down to $16.99, then you most likely won't want to repurchase it based off of the cost of the product. And then you can see lowest, and that's just lowest price. So that could be merchant fulfilled or FBA. So something to keep in mind if you deal with merchant fulfilled products. And then the cost, this is where you can either type them in or you can import. And so I'll show you really quickly. If you click import and you just upload an Inventory Lab Excel sheet, you can actually map the different columns to the inventory. So essentially we just need the seller SKU, the active cost, and the active supplier, and it'll go ahead and fill in all the information based off of that seller SKU. And it does it in like a minute max, I think.
Yeah, it was quick, man.
Yeah, and it's supposed to send you an email whenever it gets done. If not, it'll pop up over here and just say the import was completed. And then you can also see the number of sellers here if you want to look at that. That is total sellers, not just FBA. So we're thinking about seeing if we can split that out in a future update and have FBA sellers versus merchant fulfilled. Additionally, you can see all of the Amazon fees that are collected, referral, FBA, and storage. And then it takes all of this information whenever you have your cost in there and gives you your profit, and your ROI percentages will update once you put in the cost. And so it's a nice feature to have. Same with the margin, that would also update once you put in the correct profit.
Awesome.
And then supplier updates, you've got sales rank. If you do have sales rank parameters, in our business, we personally don't judge it off sales rank. We go based off of purchases and Keepa. So that's, for me, I don't care about this, but we wanted to include it for anybody else that did. And then also you've got a category here. So if you're making a shopping list for, retail arbitrage, you can actually give that to your shoppers, and they can see, oh, okay, this is a pet product, or this is a grocery product, etc. So they can go find it a little bit easier. Purchase link, this says NA because I was playing around with it, but it actually, if you do OA, you can put in your OA link there where you have to repurchase the product, and it creates a hyperlink for you. Whenever it's time to repurchase, you just click the link and it'll open up the web page. So if I did just Amazon.com, you can see that does that, and then I click it and it'll open Amazon.com right away. So if I had better Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah. If we weren't streaming on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. And so enrolled in small and light, it'll show, I'm not sure why this one says false versus no, but all of these products aren't enrolled. So if you do use small and light, it will show if it is enrolled. So that way you know if you have to hit those parameters when restocking. And then lastly, date added is whenever you added it to your inventory on Amazon. It's not whenever you added it here. It's just from Amazon. So if you care about seeing that, then that can be useful as well. Now, like I said, you can remove columns. So if I didn't do small and light, for instance, then I can just remove the small and light thing and it's gone. Same with date added. I don't care about that, and those are gone. So you can really customize this dashboard. And I added them back in. But you can customize the dashboard to look how you want it to look. And additionally, you can move these over if you want them in a different order. And the software will remember that.
Jimmy, we got a question.
Okay.
Perry was asking, do you have the product dimensions or size tier?
We do not have them in the dashboard. We just go based off of the fees. And so that, the fees will be accurate to whatever size that the product is. Now I can see if that's something that's easy enough to add to it, because we've got a bunch of updates planned in the future just to make it a little bit more robust, but you write that down.
And so Perry does a lot of shoes and clothing, and he was saying, can you add the number of child variations on the parent listing? That would be helpful for managing the quality of listings.
Number of child variations. Okay, yeah, because if you're doing 100 variations, you want to know that.
Right,
okay.
Yeah, sure. So getting your feature requests in, Perry. Good job, man.
Yeah, exactly. We can add that. I think that'd be pretty simple to add. I don't see why that'd be an issue. We designed this to be able to be usable. So we've been trying to get this together. We went to a second developer. Our first developer made something that wasn't good. So we had to tear it all down. We literally started all over with a second developer that has built, and I guarantee you've heard of the software programs they built. They've done over $1 million of software development for Amazon programs specifically. Wow. So we went from we think this is easy to develop, so we'll pay less, we'll pay a cheaper VA, to we're going to just pay the best one we can find. And so That's where So we should not have an issue adding that in there. So I don't remember where I was going with that, but
so you were showing just the customization of everything, how you can move columns around. And
absolutely, yeah. So you can move columns around and remove columns if you don't want to see them, because in my opinion, all of this information is too much. Just because I don't need all of this, so I would remove a lot of, I don't care about the FN SKU or some of that stuff. So
sure.
Additionally, if you want to export anything, you can select the whole page and then move to the next page and select, as many as you want. And then you can click export and it will actually remember you've got 104 products, because I selected the whole page plus 4 more. So a lot of more softwares than I have it to where you can only do one page at a time. So this one will at least remember what you selected.
Cool.
So it's just an annoying feature in other programs to me. And then you can check what you want to have seen. So the title, the ASIN, the SKU, if it's fulfilled by Amazon or merchant, you can select whatever you want. You can click all of them. It's up to you. But if you select 4 or 5 of them, the software will remember the next time you do an export which ones you selected. So you don't have to keep going back and forth.
It's a great feature.
And you can also do all of your products if you don't want to do just a select amount. And then once you click download, it's an Excel sheet, and you can use it however you want to use it. So I'll deselect these. And
I think one of my favorite features is the filters. To run into those.
Under the filters, you can filter pretty much a lot of these columns based off of this filter. So if you just want to see your FBM inventory or your FBA inventory, you can do that. and it will update the software based off of that. The one that I like the most is Supplier. Right now we haven't uploaded the suppliers, but typically since we do arbitrage, let's say I'm just looking to make a Walmart list, I would go to Walmart. I'd only have it show the Walmart products, and then I would do from how many we need to buy to the lowest. So the highest to the lowest. We export then anything that has a buy quantity to a separate list, and then that's what essentially becomes our shopping list, as long as the products are still profitable. And so it's nice because as you're checking these things, you can just check them in the software and say you want to skip all the red, you can do that, or add a couple of the red ones. It's up to you. And then additionally, if you want to see if it's enrolled in small and light, you can do that too, or any other status, active, use inactive condition. So if you do books or something like that, you can use the condition selection to see all of those. But
that supplier feature is pretty clutch, I think. Being able to import easily all of the, because anybody that's using Inventory Lab or SkinPower, any of those, they're going to have that data already there.
Right.
And so, being able to just go in and type the brand name or the, manufacturer, whoever it is, and just boop, all of it's right there. I mean, guys, when you see the price of this tool compared to the amount of time that it's going to save you, if you're currently doing replens and you're trying to just figure it all out on your own, how much you should order, you're running out of stock, all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. It's amazing, the time savings of this. Not mention the time savings, but also the extra money that you're going to make because you're selling more product now.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, it's also easier to outsource. So if you can then outsource this process to somebody else based off your parameters versus having to deal with scrolling through your seller account and figuring out all of this information or dealing with reports and stuff, I think it's actually easier to outsource it if you wanted to. So we have somebody that used to deal with our Excel sheets, and she would upload all of our data and everything into it once a week and then make the shopping list. And this has cut her time in half. So it's been pretty cool for our business.
Well, to have that visual learning there too of like, okay, the things that are flagged in red, we need to look into all that kind of stuff.
We used an old account here, so that's why a lot of it's not ours, but we used a different old test account. So we've got a lot of products that are in red. So it's something that we needed to have a way to make sure that we differentiated between the products that were still selling at where we want to sell them at, or what is being beaten. And so we used to do a report from our repricer that would kind of tell us this information, but it wasn't accurate and up to date. So like if you've got a repricer as well that is updating your products, then these things will change every 15 minutes if your repricer is keeping up with competition. And so that's also something, if you start to automate more and more, we can help you see that better. So under settings, that's where you put in your MWS and account information. So it's pretty simple process. It's not difficult. And then also if you click under like the name, if you click get help, you can email the support team. So they're pretty responsive. They've got the stock 24 to 48 hours kind of thing, but they're very on top of it. So,
and the onboarding is slick. It's super easy, guys. It's, if you've ever connected any tool to your account, it's all the same stuff. But again, I think the simplicity, I don't know what these developers did on the back end, but they just made it run really smooth. And I've been super impressed. This has become, since I was waiting. I knew Jimmy had the Google spreadsheets, and I was like, I like them. Let me know when your dashboard's done, so once it got finished, I was really eager because this is kind of a game changer. If your goal is to scale your business without you having to just huff it more in the stores, I would say this is a really important tool to help you do that. Jimmy's done it in his own business. That's why I kind of mentioned earlier, for sellers, by sellers, because Jimmy didn't just, come up with this when he was just like hanging out at a park one day. It was like, no, this is like a game changer for the replen arbitrage model.
Right.
And it's really easy to scale and all that. And so, and you said you're not even really out there doing the actual work anymore, right? Like you've been able to build this team of people that are doing it for you.
Yeah, so we have 7 shoppers now, and we're constantly adding stuff to our list. And surprisingly, I mean, we do, over $100,000 a month, but we only have about 900 active SKUs, and it's, 90% of that is arbitrage. And so, I know there's a lot of sellers out there that probably think it's thousands of active SKUs. There's a lot of inactive now because, replens, you cycle through them. But yeah, I mean, you can scale this pretty quickly. And, as long as you can start outsourcing slowly, but surely you'll add more and more people to your team. And so,
absolutely. And then you get to do all the fun stuff of like managing humans.
Yeah. Right.
And learning how to do conflict resolution and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the fun stuff, I guess.
Yeah. That's for another day, different conversation.
Right. Exactly.
Any other features that we need to discuss? I feel like you hit most of them, all the customization stuff and.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty simple for us to go through, it's never been an hour-long webinar that I needed to explain how this works and how this works. We are going to be adding updates, things like some extra tutorials and stuff on, how to use it a little bit better, but it's so simple that there's not much for us to upload. So that's why we wanted to get it out now before dealing with adding kind of tutorials and whatnot. If you do use Inventory Lab, which most of you should, if you aren't, then you can easily export your inventory. And so if you go to inventory, then click FBA, you just click export. And then you don't even have to open the file. You can just import it straight to it. And then connect the columns that it needs to be connected to, and it's super easy. So, and then also you can search by title, ASIN, etc. So, if I just put in the ASIN, it'll pull it up. And then once you clear it out, it reloads it. And you can copy stuff. So you just right click copy. If you want to copy with headers, it will copy the whole line, I believe. So, or you can export one product. But yeah, so that's the basics of it all. And then we do have a code for FBA insiders. Let me get it is FBA, so all capitals with an I, or capital I as well, insiders. So pretty simple. You put that in there. There is a 30-day free trial. After that, you get 10% off for the first month. And so that's all set up and ready to go for anybody that comes through. Just make sure to put that code whenever you sign up. If you do forget to put the code when you sign up, it will also prompt you for one at the end of the 30 days if you want to continue using it after the first 30 days. So,
well, I just copied that into the comments on the Facebook group.
Okay, perfect.
So app.replendashboard.com, enter code FBA Insider. So FBAI is capitalized, right?
Yes.
And then
it is case sensitive. The developers actually sent me some from other groups and stuff. They were like, oh, they entered this wrong, so we can see that whenever they send it to us. So they're looking for that, and they can adjust it. But still, if you can get it right on the first try, it makes it easier. And you actually don't need app dot anymore. It's just replendashboard.com. So
the app is gone.
Yes. So our original one, I said that we had to let go of the other developer. That was replendashboard.com. And so as we hired the new developers, they needed the app in front of it, and then we got it transitioned over to replandashboard.com. So
gotcha.
It's a confusing story, but it's just the website now. And this is the sales page. You can register pricing plans, etc. And the pricing is based off of active SKUs. And so we did this because our business would be in the middle tier. And so we're trying to also figure out better ways to price it. Let's say if you do books, or something, or you do drop shipping, that's the only issue we've run into. If you're doing like print on demand drop shipping stuff, and you've got 10,000 print on demand products, those will count towards your active SKUs. So, we are actively working on a fix for that, but that might take a little bit more work. So these are the pricing plans. You get everything in each tier. And then it's based off of your active SKU count. At the end of the 30 days, it will prompt you for the payment after your first free 30 days. So
cool. That is awesome. 30 days, man. That's pretty hefty.
Yeah.
for, typically your free trial is 15 days. So it's super benevolent of you
right.
to do that.
Yeah, no, we wanted to do 30 days. We also don't require credit card information up front, just because, I hate that if I forget about something and it charges me. So that's why we just leave it at 30 days. If you like it, you'll continue using it because, it's something that you can't really go without once you start using it, in my opinion. So, yeah,
absolutely. Awesome. Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I just posted again. So it's replendashboard.com.
Correct.
Super simple, awesome tool. And Jimmy's in our group, longtime trusted seller. So Jimmy, thank you so much for your time. Let me see if any other questions are rolling in. Just so you know, Victoria, she commented in all caps, "I need this so bad."
Awesome. Victoria Jean?
Yeah. And she said, let's see, what is the monthly fee after? So what is it after the what is the monthly fee after referral discount?
So the first month is 10% off with FBA insiders. And then after that, it'll be the same fee, the normal pricing tier.
Which is yeah, and you just ran through that. So
yep, it depends on which level you're at. So if you're, at the level that we would be at, it'd be $50 a month, or you can get 2 months free if you pay it all up front. And so we set that up because that's similar to a lot of software programs.
Yeah. No, it's good, very reasonable. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. And guys, Jimmy's in the group, so if you have any questions, post them, tag him, tag me. We'll jump in.
Absolutely.
So awesome, man. Well, you have a happy Turkey Day.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family, and we'll see y'all next time.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.